So now let's see how we can work around with the different selection tools inside of Adobe Photoshop Elements. So over here on the left side in the expert mode, you can see that I already have a picture opened up. And if I want to select out different portions of this image, then I can use different selection tools, as you can see right here. So if I were to go around onto the regular selection tool, all I can do is click and drag around and then the selection is done. You can go around onto the move tool and move this around, as you can see. Let me just press Ctrl Z and go to the selection tool itself. And over here, if I were to click and drag around the selection right here, then you can see that the previous selection just disappears. If you want to add to the existing selection, then you can go around over here and click on Add to Selection and click and drag, and you can see that another selection has been added to the pre-existing selection. You can go around over here as well and subtract from the selection right here, just like this. You can go around and select an intersection of the selection as well. And you can see that you got a pretty unique selection right here, just by combining out different selections. You can go around onto the move tool and click and drag, and you can see that this is how the selection actually works. Yeah, you can go around and press Ctrl D to actually go around deselect it, and that is applied over here on the image. Let me just press Ctrl Z right here, and let me just go around onto the selection tool itself, and let's see what else we have. We can go around onto the elliptical marquee tool as well. So you can see that this type of selection is there. You can press the add button and select rectangular selection as well and add in onto it. So I'm just going to go around and add in a selection right here. You can go around onto elliptical marquee and add it in just like this as well. So now when you're working with the elliptical tool right here, let me just zoom in by holding an Alt and using the scroll mouse button. If I were to take the move tool right here, click and drag, you can see that there's something like a soft edge right here. That is because the anti-aliasing is turned on. If I were to go around onto the selection, click and drag around, and if I were to disable the anti-aliasing, let me just go around over here, and after disabling the anti-aliasing, let me just go around and redo the selection right here and use the move tool. Then what happens is that the edges will be much more sharper because there is no aliasing or softening being applied to it, as you can see, just like that. So let me just go around onto the selection itself and re-enable it, because usually I like to have it on. Besides this, you can also go around and then select out the feather for the selection. So if I were to have, let's say, 45 pixels of feathering, then I can go around over here and click and drag around a selection. So let me just go around right here, click and drag around the selection. So it says the pixels are more than 50% selected because it's less than 45 pixels. So let me just do and make a big selection right here. It has to be more than 45 pixels right here. So let me just go around, zoom out, click and drag around right here, and you can see that this is the selection. And since there's 45 pixels of smoothness right here, if I were to go around onto the move tool and click and drag, you can see that the smoothness is being applied to the selection right here. So the smoothness is too much, and that is why you don't see much of a good result. So let me just press Ctrl D to deselect it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around onto the selection right here, and then let's say select out 5 pixels of smoothness. And over here, I'm going to click and drag just like this and use the move tool to move around. And you can see there's 5 pixels of smoothness being applied to it just like that. So that is what you have. Let me press Ctrl D again to deselect it out right there. If I were to go to the selection right here, then that is what you have. And you can also go for a fixed ratio like 1:1 width and click right here just like this, and then what happens is that you cannot squeeze in the selection. So you can not squeeze in the selection, so it's a perfect circle, as you can see. You can also go for fixed size. So let's say you want a selection of 200 by 200 pixel right here. Press enter, then what happens is that the exact selection will happen. If I were to go around onto the rectangular tool, then that is exactly what will happen right here. You can go around over here and select out fixed size. So let's say I want 100 by 200 pixels of selection. You can go around and then let's say click, and you can see that similarly the selection happens over there. And that is how you can work around with the selection tools inside of Adobe Photoshop Elements. So hope you guys learned something as always. And as always, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.